Hey y'all, I am back with a little reading here. I'm doing a special one. This is an extra reading for the week, specifically on Divine Masculines, blocks, and karmic situations currently. We want to ask Spirit, what's going on with Divine Masculine? What's blocking them from progressing and moving forward and coming forward? And what karmic situations are they wrapping up or still dealing with? So you've got 5 options here. You've got option 1, which is the Carnelian. Option 2, which is the black Tourmaline. You've got option 3, which is the pink Selenite heart. You've got option 4, which is the green Kyanite. Isn't that pretty? And option 5, which is the rose quartz. So go ahead, tap into your intuition, make sure that you are only internalizing messages that fit your story. That is really important. That's with any collective reading that you watch. It is really important. You don't want to be internalizing messages that aren't for you. Could be that this entire message is going to resonate for you. It could be part of the message will, or maybe then the one next time will resonate for you. Go ahead and choose your option. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Do it by the stone, the cards, or the number. Whatever works for you, whatever pops out at you. You just tap into your own intuition. If you watch an option and it's not resonating within the first few minutes, it's probably not for you. You can go ahead and watch it through. But just keep your intuition tapped on and tapped in during the reading, and make sure that it's fitting. If the first option that you choose isn't working for you, feel free to go to a different one. You can watch them all through. Sometimes there are more than one message for one person. It's not necessarily that only one is for you. Okay, let's go ahead and get into that. If you could take that moment to hit that thumbs up on the video, that is extremely valuable to me. I love that energy exchange, and I appreciate every single one, because literally that's what gets this video out to more people on YouTube who need the guidance, and it helps me grow my channel. It's a brand new channel. It's a couple months old, and I'm really working hard on providing good content and growing that for the Twin Flame Collective. I want to help as much as I can. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Pause that video if you need to, and we'll start reading. Hello to those of you who chose option 1, this beautiful Carnelian palm stone. It's really, really pretty. I just got this the other day with this deck. I bought them together. I actually didn't know the deck was going to be this color, but seems fortuitous that they go together so well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set the one aside and the palm stone aside, and we'll get into your reading. So we're asking Spirit, what are the blocks that the DM is currently dealing with, and any karmic situations that would be helpful for the Divine Feminine to know for her highest good. Now, even though we're going to be revealing blocks and karmic situations, Divine Feminines, I want you just to remember that it's not yours to try and fix these for the masculine. This is his journey, and he has to go on it himself. And remember also, when I'm using pronouns like that, it's literally just because it's simple to assign he to masculine and she to feminine. How you identify as a gender has absolutely nothing to do with tarot. There's no gender in tarot. So you could be a same-sex couple, you could be non-binary, none of that matters, okay? The he and she is literally, just to keep it straight, who I'm talking about. So if I'm talking about Divine Masculine, if you are a human being that is really in their masculine energy, you kind of live in your masculine energy, then you're masculine, regardless of your, body parts or how you identify. If you're a human being who sways towards the feminine energy, then you're a feminine. And the he and she are assigned specifically just so while I'm reading, I can keep straight like who I'm talking about, so you know who I'm talking about. It's not meant as a disrespect. Please never take it that way. Everybody of every orientation is welcome at my table. And wanted. Not just welcome, but wanted. Okay. Little extra messages because I wasn't pulling yet. 5 of Wands, some conflict, and sailing away from conflict. So, before we even get started, this is a hysterical deck. This is the Housewives Tarot. But there is conflict in Divine Masculine's life that he is moving on from. He is working to move on from. This is an extra message. So before we even get into what the blocks are, karmic situations are, just know that this is temporary. It's not staying. In fact, I just did a mirror message talking about the temporary block for the Divine Masculine. So if you haven't seen my mirror message, check that out because it talks about the situation. Okay, so I'm going to put those back in and we'll actually go to shuffling. So, okay, Spirit. Well, I'm going to do my Palo Santo first. I'm sorry, that was like a false start. I want to make sure that my energy... I want to use sage today. I don't know, I'm called to use sage. Let's use the sage. I haven't used it in a while. I like both. And I'm a cheater. I hold it right over my candle. Instead of lighting it. Ah, there we go. Nice smoke. Okay. The first times that I used sage, I didn't like it. It took a little bit for me to love it the way that I do now. Now I love the smell of it. But it's one of those things that you have to come to really enjoy. I'm not a smoker, so smoke hasn't always been my thing, but both sage and Palo Santo I really, really love now. Okay, I need to make sure that I put that out well. I keep the ashes of my sage in the dish to help me like tamp out the sage because I've had it keep burning before and it's a real pain in the butt. Okay, nice. Now we're all nice and clear. Okay. Tapping into spirit. Spirits, guides, angels, ancestors, and protectors, thank you for being with me here today and always as I read for this Twin Flame Collective. I'm so grateful for your presence in my life, and you're always with me, and I never ever feel alone anymore. There were a lot of times in my life that I felt very alone, and since my awakening, since I've come into my power and come into my gifts, and I know my guides, I never feel alone. It's lovely. I always know that I'm surrounded by love. And you, watcher, are too. If you have not taken the time, if you're on the Twin Flame journey, you are a light worker. Everyone is capable of that. But you're in the place where you can really step into that. This is just a side message that I feel like I need to say. And if you haven't tapped into your gifts now and into your intuition, really, spend some time meditating. Like just, even if it's 5 minutes a day or every other day or 2 or 3 times a week, just get into the habit of turning the lights off, turning the sounds off. Just shut your eyes and for 5 minutes meditate and see what comes into your head. Those messages that are coming into your head, that's your intuition. That's your guides speaking to you. It's not anything woo-woo. It's not like, it's not as complicated as it sounds. It's actually very simple. You don't have to be in a special place. You don't have to be in a special mood. You don't have to be doing anything special to meditate. Literally, close your mind, shut it out, and just be still for 5 minutes. Start that way, and then it'll be more as time goes on. But just hear what comes into your brain in those times and listen to it. I feel like that's going to really help you tap into your gifts, okay? There are some beautiful meditation and chakra clearing videos on YouTube where literally it's just sound. You don't have to watch it. That really are helpful. So if you have a hard time clearing your head, put one of those on and just listen to the chakra clearing music, and that helps you meditate. If you're just listening to the music, that is a form of meditation. You don't have to make it more complicated than it is. It's actually a very simple thing. I just want you to find your gifts, and they're there. You just need to tap in. Okay. We're asking Spirit. Protecting, I'm grounding. Surrounding myself with a bubble of white light protection. That's what I do. Everyone's different. I'm going to ask Archangel Michael to surround me with his purple light protection. It's kind of a double. Another side note, Ace of Wands. I'm taking a while to get into this, but I feel like there's a passionate new beginning to be had here. Please don't doubt it. This is directly from Spirit. Your passionate beginning is on the way. I know that there are blocks, because that's why we're here. That's why we're talking right now. We're talking because you haven't gotten the communication that you had expected and intended on, or that your counterpart. So whether you're a masculine or a feminine watching, doesn't matter. If you're the DM watching, you know what the blocks are. You know what's going on, or you're ferreting that out right now. So this will help you give you some clarity and some confirmation of what's going on for you. And if you're Divine Feminine watching, this will help you understand why the communication that was expected did not come through. Because for some people it has. We've been talking to a collective for a while here who is very close to union, and who there really could have been communication recently. For some people there was, but for some people there wasn't, and there are reasons for that, and we're looking at that. This is a point right now where you're being heavily tested. Your faith is being heavily tested. Your faith in your connection, in spirit, in yourself, in your masculine, in your feminine. So a little bit of clarity right now is extremely valuable. You don't want to give up the ghost right now, is what I'm hearing. Don't give up your faith. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Spirit, I'm not asking specific questions for each card. I want to know, Spirit, just tell me. Let's flow. Let's get fluid on it. Tell me about the blocks or karmic situations in masculine's life right now. 8 of Cups. Trying to walk away from something. It's harder to walk away from something that Divine Masculine had intended. He's been planning to walk away from a situation, some kind of karmic situation that he's been in, whether it's romantic, work, family. For a lot of you, it's romantic, but not every single one. Take it as it resonates. If you know it's not one thing or another, tap into your intuition. What is it for you? What is it for your story, right? It's much harder to walk away from something than Divine Masculine had anticipated or planned. The Tower in reverse. The Tower moment was much bigger than intended. So sometimes Tower in reverse is coming out of a Tower moment. Sometimes a reverse card is coming out of the energy of that card upright. Sometimes it's just a nasty energy of that card upright. And I'm getting the nasty energy of that card upright. When Divine Masculine tried to walk away, they were blocked in a huge way. Some really nasty Tower moment happened. This could have to do with Divine Masculine's children, family, job. He was threatened in some way. And I know that it's really easy to say, just walk away, just do it. When you're being threatened, when something's being held over your head, you can't always just do that. So that is one of the situations. This walking away moment was a nasty Tower moment. And it's caused a block. It's caused an energetic block. What we got here? Knight of Swords. So the fast communication was blocked. I'm getting Divine Masculine had intended on just rushing in with communication. You know, he's got, see these girls over here. There's a little girl and there's an older girl. So there's a woman and a little girl here, which could represent maybe Divine Masculine has a daughter. Maybe Divine Masculine has 2 daughters. Maybe one of those is a Divine Feminine and her daughter or something like that. So take it as it resonates for your story, because everyone's going to be a little bit different. But this Divine Masculine was serious. See him here with the switchblade? Like, he was serious about this communication. He was on his motorcycle, headed your way, and something stopped it. Let's see. I'm getting this one. Page of Swords. It has something to do with you. Oh. Okay, so the Page of Swords is often the card of stalking and watching. He's being watched. He's being stalked by someone. I'm getting every single little move your masculine makes is being watched. I think that there is some kind of karmic person in his life that is all up in his stuff. But like, maybe they even have other people watching him. I'm seeing the 8 of Swords, like surrounded by people watching, like never a minute alone to get a plan off the ground to get the hell out, is what I'm getting. Ooh, that's nasty energy. This Tower in reverse, I'm telling you. There's something serious going on for Divine Masculine right now. 8 of Pentacles. I think that his money is blocked. Like, he's been saving to get out, right? He's been really working on his finances, saving up, squirreling away. I'm seeing a squirrel with nuts. So squirreling away money for his future to get out of whatever situation he's in. And the money's been somehow blocked. Like the access to taking it away, removing it. It's his money. But someone, either they're threatening to take everything he has, or they physically have moved the money or taken the money or something. So it's he's stuck, like in the 8 of Swords cards, like stuck tight and bound because of that. There's something to do with money that's a problem. 7 of Cups. This is causing a lot of confusion. What does he do? What does he do? He's being watched. He's being threatened. And the money is tied up. So how does he move forward? I don't think he does know how at this point. The Empress. I think he's really, really afraid that his Empress is going to move on if he doesn't make a move. I think this is causing incredible, the 7 of Cups coming right out before the Empress. I think it's causing a lot of fear, confusion, worry. I'm not going to be surprised if we get a 9 of Swords eventually. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. Oh, Ace of Pentacles came out with the 2 of Pentacles. Like, he wants that new beginning, but he's still got these 2 balls up in the air and he can't leave until he gets rid of one of those. This karmic situation that he's trying to get out of, he knows that he cannot come forward with that offer, with that solid, stable offer until this is cleared out. This karmic cycle of the juggling of the other, whether it's a romantic partner or a karmic family member, a karmic job or something. A lot of you, it's a romantic partner, but he cannot come forward to you until this is cleared out because you're not going to take him back. He knows that. The Empress doesn't stand for bullshit like that. 3 of Pentacles. This is back to the money thing. There's a lot of pentacles here. 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacles. money is a block. He's built this solid, stable foundation, and now someone has, I see these plates, like these pentacles, these giant pentacles ready to fall on her head. Like she's hammering, check this out. She's hammering the shelf with the pentacles on the shelf. What happens when you hammer something like that with something fragile on top? It's likely to topple. So he's been in this really precarious situation of building this stable foundation, trying not to let it topple on his head. And I feel like with this Tower moment, that's what's happened. I mean, I know as Divine Feminines, we don't really care that much about money. I mean, we want to be stable, of course, like everyone else. But you have to understand how important this is to the masculine, because he's worked really, really hard to build this foundation for his new life. And it's being screwed with right now. 5 of Swords. Conflict. It's like this person in his life is trying to win at any cost. They're causing so much conflict. They don't care what they do to him. Look at this beautiful dress. I'm really getting a karmic partner on this one. Look at this beautiful dress. It was expensive, and they're just cutting it out. It's like cutting away the stability, cutting away the Divine Masculine's resources is what I'm getting. The karmic partner is really, really snaky right now. I don't like this energy at all. This is icky. Blah. Okay. The Emperor in reverse. He doesn't have any control right now. He feels completely out of control. He's got to really work to gain back the control before he can come forward. In a good way, not controlling, like trying to control everyone around him. He's trying to control his own life. He's not feeling in control of his own life right now. There's something happening. 6 of Swords, he needs to get out of this. He needs to just shove those knives in the ground and walk away. And I think he's working on this. He knows. He knows. He's not oblivious. He's not this is not a helpless energy. I'm not getting defeat here. I'm getting, this is the situation. These are facts. And with the 6 of Swords, I really get him trying to recover his Emperor energy and get out. King of Pentacles, yeah. This is the last card here. He needs to get back into his King of Pentacles energy, his stable foundation, so he can come forward. It's not just about like losing a little money. This is losing his entire foundation, something he's worked really hard for. So please, feminines watching this reading, have some patience. Move on with your life. Do your life. Don't be in a waiting energy at all. Just understand that these are the things that are keeping your masculine at bay right now. He needs to clean up this karmic situation. This is all a karmic cycle that he's put himself in, okay? And we all put ourselves in karmic cycles. This is not exclusive to the Divine Masculine. Feminines do it too. We've just dealt with a lot of ours already. Not all of it. But when you're looking at this, what's going on, instead of judging, well, you did this, so it's your fault, clean up your own mess. Sure, that's the truth, but have some compassion, because we all are fallible. We all make mistakes. We all get into situations that are not for our highest good. And masculine, with ending up with the 6 of Swords and the King of Pentacles, shows us that he's taking responsibility, getting ready to get out. He's working on it. He's just in a precarious situation with this karmic situation in his life. This karmic partner of some sort is really putting the screws to him right now. So don't give up on him. Don't count him out. I get that if he's coming into King of Pentacles energy, that's my favorite king. Most dependable one. Not just loving, not just kind, but nurturing and a provider, stable. This is the one you can count on, right? Don't count them out. Okay. For option 1, that has been your reading. Thank you so much. I would really love it if you would hit the thumbs up on the video. That really, really is valuable to me. Hit the subscribe and you'll see all the videos that come up. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Feel free to check out another pile if that doesn't resonate. Or if it did, you can watch them all through. Okay, let's go on to number 2. Okay, I'm gonna grab some water. For those of you who chose option 2 with the black tourmaline, this is your reading. We'll go ahead and set that aside. And we're asking Spirit here, what blocks and karmic situations is the Divine Masculine dealing with at present? What is going on? Blocks and karmic situations. We're not asking this question to interfere. We're asking it for clarity so we can have more understanding, so we can keep going forward in our own lives in the best way possible. Okay. All right, tapped into Spirit, grounded and protected. 1, 2, whoops. Flipped over a whole bunch of cards. What's on top? King of Pentacles. That's the Divine Masculine. Okay, I'm going to start over. 1, 2, 3. Tell me, Spirit, what are the blocks and karmic situations Divine Masculine is dealing with? 8 of Cups, having a problem walking away. This was the first or second card out on option 1. I think this is going to be a theme. Having a hard time getting away from a karmic cycle or karmic partner. It's harder than they realized. It's more challenging than they realized. They had plans to get out and something blocked them. We're going to find out more. Page of Wands. Okay. I'm getting I'm getting somebody trying to seduce the masculine in some way. And we're going to find out more about that. But there's some kind of immature attempt in seduction that has been like, I'm getting like flies buzzing around your head, like annoying. Like, quit that, I'm not interested kind of thing. That there's someone around your masculine that's been trying to seduce them into something, whether it's sexually, with money, with promises of some sort. But there's someone that's been a pain in the ass. And it's an immature energy. It's not like happy. It's not like I want this kind of thing. Ace of Cups. Look, he knows what an Ace of Cups is and he can't reach it right now. That's really, really frustrating. This new beginning in love. This person, this old person is causing some kind of hang up on the way to that. Strength. I feel like your Divine Masculine has been drained by this energy of this person. Seriously drained. I'm getting the picture of someone like in your ear, blah, 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 all of the time. Like not letting you sleep, not letting you eat, not letting you see your friends or do anything relaxing. Just constantly on you, on you, on you is what I'm getting. And it's sapped his strength. It's making it really tough to leave. The Tower. Man, this is so much like option 1. We had the Tower in reverse on option 1. There's been a Tower moment here that was unexpected. And you know, tower moments are always karmically, you know, they're always to redirect you if you're on a karmic path, if you need to get off a certain path. So there's been a big tower moment, something that hit this divine masculine. And part of that, look at, we have the Ace of Cups on one side of strength and the Tower on the other side of the strength. So this Tower moment has sapped his strength to get to his Ace of Cups, his new beginning with his feminine. This Two of Swords, this choice, he's blind right now. He can't see the way out of this. It's like he knows that there are multiple paths to take, but he's got a blindfold on. He can't see the way out right now. I'm getting a ton of stress and exhaustion, physical exhaustion. Ten of Swords, stabbed in the back over and over and over and over again. This Page of Wands person, this karmic person in his life has stabbed him over and over and over. I'm getting like that a picture of one of those people in a vampire movie that are drained of blood, like absolutely drained. Absolutely drained. And look at all those swords, like they're being lifted out though. They're not actually in this person's back like they are in a traditional card. I get that the divine is working overtime to try and help masculine out of this situation. The Hermit, he's got to go back into here and rest. He's got to figure it out. It's like he thought he had it figured out, but no, this person has blocked him in such... I keep getting drawn back to this Page of Wands, this person this immature person with these, surrounded by these dragons. It's like, oh, did you watch Game of Thrones? What's her name? I can't think of her name right now. The mother of dragons, right? This person that's kind of power hungry and doesn't want to lose the masculine because they get so much from him. I think that they are an energy drain. They're an energy vampire. Wow. This is all, I'm getting all the blocks predicated on this person in this particular reading, which the other reading, it wasn't quite, it was more money based. But this is definitely about a person. But the divine is working on pulling those swords out, and they're putting him back into this hermit energy. I think he's retreated away from this person, away from everyone, to try and get some perspective and to build some strength back up. I'm almost getting like a Four of Swords thing, which it's similar to the Hermit. Like Four of Swords is like a mini Hermit. But the Hermit is like a bigger break. They really need to gain some strength back. Death. Yeah, putting an ending to this is really challenging. Getting away from this person is somehow really challenging. Maybe they still live with them. Maybe they're dependent on them for finances. Maybe there's something about this person that they have so much control in the masculine's life. He needs to put an end to it, and he knows it. But it hasn't come. Five of Swords. He knows he's got to win at any price here. He can't play nice anymore. To get away from this person, he's going to have to win at any cost. Because that's the way this person plays. You can't win against someone like that without employing some of the same strategies. And I don't think this masculine is that kind of person that he wants to do that. I think he's going to have to get really subversive here, and to get away from this person, he's going to have to sneak away, is what I'm getting. He's got to win at any cost. He's got to fight dirty now. I think for a long time he tried not to do that, but it's come to it. He's been stabbed in the back too many times. Right now he's in this hermit mode, strategizing, how do I win at any cost? What do I do? What's my move? Three of Coins in reverse. His foundations have been absolutely shaken by this person. Like he's tried to build up this foundation over and over again, and this person tears it down every time. One more. Eight of Wands, fast movement forward. This is what he wants. But it's coming up right under the Eight of Cups. 8-8. Coming up right under the Eight of Cups, this fast movement forward. This is what he wants. He wants to walk away. And right now he's in that hermit mode, strategizing. How can I do this as fast as possible? Because I need to get away from this person. This was an intense reading. I did not expect this to go, any of these to go quite this way. This Divine Masculine or group of masculines is in a really precarious situation with a person that they've really got to employ some strategy to get out of. And it needs to happen quickly. Feminines, there's nothing you can do about this. This is your masculine's puzzle to figure out in his own life. And if he doesn't figure it out, he's going to have another karmic cycle to go through. So you have to sit back and let him do it. Masculines, if you're in this situation, I sympathize with you. Just use your brains. You're extremely intelligent. Find this person's weak spot and get out, because this person is extremely toxic for you. Extremely toxic. They've got a hold on you like none other. I'm sorry about that situation. Okay, for option 2, the black tourmaline. You know, it's interesting because black tourmaline is a protective stone, a very strong protective stone. So if you're watching this reading, I suggest you have a piece of black tourmaline around you, on you. It is a beautiful stone for that, because you both need some protective energy with this kind of person in your life. Okay. All right, that has been the reading for option 2. I hope that's been helpful. Please take that moment to hit the thumbs up on the reading. That's incredibly helpful for me. I'm trying to grow this channel and help as many people as possible, and that's how you can make that happen. I really appreciate that interaction. Thank you for letting me be part of your day, part of your journey, and I will see you next time. Let's go ahead to option 3. This is my brand new deck. I just opened it last night. I haven't used it before. Go ahead and set those aside. I'm going to grab some water. This is the Druid Druid Craft Tarot deck. It is very large, so I'm going to have to shuffle it a bit differently. I'm going to shuffle a little extra too, because I haven't shuffled it much yet. It's pretty new. And it's got some different cards, like it's got Lord and Lady instead of Emperor and Empress, that kind of thing. The word that they have for the High Priestess is different. But I like the deck very much. The artwork is pretty cool. It's got some really interesting imagery. Whoa. Those are really big cards. I mean, I'm almost 6 feet tall. I don't have small hands, but these cards are massive. I really do prefer the smaller decks. I mean, these are nice because they're easier to see on camera, but hard to wield. A little more shuffling. Okay. Well, I don't even think I can do it that way. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to go back to the old school way. I got it upside down. Okay. Nine of Swords. There's a lot of worry for this masculine. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of anxiety right now going on for this masculine. We'll find out why in a minute here. Just so you're aware. They are not unaffected by these blocks. Whoa, I shuffled them backwards. Okay, I was just shuffling for option 3, and I had to stop because I actually flipped the deck upside down and shuffled upside down like this. And it took forever to put the cards back together, and I don't want you to have to watch that. What I'm getting, and the Nine of Swords popped out right before I did that, so there's a lot of worry and anxiety for this masculine going on right now. I can't even imagine it. It seems very, very stressful. And having done that, I have never actually taken my cards, flipped half upside down and shuffled it together, because it causes a lot of chaos to put it back together, especially on camera. I'm getting a lot of chaos for your masculine right now. Things are not going as planned. So I'm going to shuffle 3 times here, and then we'll go ahead and start to pull. We're asking Spirit, what are the karmic situations and blocks currently for this Divine Masculine collective of Divine Masculines? Those who chose the pink selenite heart. Okay. What is going on for this Divine Masculine? The Devil. Sir, and I don't even know how to say this. I just got these cards. Cernunos. So the Devil energy right now for this masculine. There's a lot of toxicity going on. I'm getting that they may have had multiple karmic partners, like romantic karmic partners. Or been in like a polyamorous relationship, open relationship, multiple partners like at the same time. So there's a toxicity within, and I'm not saying that's a toxic thing in general. I'm not judging other people's lifestyle choices, period. You do what works for you, right? You do what makes you happy. But in this situation, in this particular situation, with the Devil here, I'm getting extreme toxicity in trying to leave the situation. It's much harder than intended. There is some kind of addictive energy or some kind of negative energy that is surrounding the masculine right now. Like, looking over him right now. Okay. If this is not resonating for you, this might not be your option. Rebirth, the Death card. So this is the Death card in this deck. So the masculine is trying to be reborn. It's trying to put a death to this toxicity and be reborn. A new beginning, right? You see, as the masculine is a child here in this image, and there's the divine. It's almost like the Judgment card, making that decision. And the white rabbit. The white rabbit represents the masculine in runner energy to me, when like the white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, being Alice chasing the white rabbit down the rabbit hole, right? It's like coming out of all this toxic crap and wanting to just be reborn and have a new life, have a new beginning, have a new start. And it's being blocked for some reason right now. Prince of Swords, which was the Knight of Swords, like really wanting to come forward with communication. Really wanting to come forward with communication. But it hasn't been able to happen. Ace of Wands, like this passionate new beginning. Look at the leaves, how that they're falling off of the wand. They're being kind of burned off by the sun is kind of what I'm getting. And the sun is the masculine in this. So let me just work this out. The sun is the masculine. In order for that wand to be effective, it needed to be stripped. And so he's doing that, but it's taking more than was anticipated. And you've got the divine here watching. Whenever I see a deer or an elk in a card, to me, that's the divine watching on. Watching like a guiding and protecting. So he's being divinely guided to strip away what's not needed for this new connection. It's just taking longer than anticipated. Six of Swords, yeah, this sailing away to calmer waters. Look at this particular Six of Swords, though. There is not just one person and the oar in the boat. There is the masculine and feminine in the boat together. Have you ever seen that before? I have never seen that before this deck, before last night when I was looking through it. The Divine Masculine doesn't want to just sail off to calmer waters. He wants to put his feminine in the boat with him. This is not a karmic partner in the boat. This is a feminine in the boat. That's the matched pair. He's got to get away from this toxicity, and he's got to take her with him. I think he's really, really afraid. Having the feminine in the boat with him makes me feel like the masculine is so afraid of this toxicity reaching the feminine. Like he's protecting her. He's behind her. With all these swords surrounding them. He's trying to protect the feminine from this toxicity. Princess of Pentacles. It's like the Page of Pentacles. This is really immature person dragging at his money too. So there's like someone in his life, and we had this in another option. There is this person that's very immature with money that is surrounding him, that is draining him in some way. I'm really getting that. It's like a little girl just throwing the pentacles around, like looking at it like, oh, what can I do with this one? It's kind of pulling at his financial foundation as well. That's challenging. Okay, so this is the High Priestess. So it's called the Feralt. What I'm getting from this, the High Priestess energy, is he can't talk about this. The High Priestess doesn't say anything. It's like he understands everything that's going on. The masculine is not in the dark here. He knows that he built this karmic situation. And intuitively, he's stepping into his intuition, into his power. But he can't talk about it right now. There's something that's keeping him gagged. He's in the High Priestess energy, but isn't able to communicate about it for some reason. Like with this Prince of Swords here, back here, like the Knight of Swords. Also, what might be the Page of Swords, actually? Brand new deck, I'm sorry, I apologize. Still about communication. It's just an inability to communicate what's going on. And that's got to be so frustrating. All he wants to do is put his divine feminine in that boat and sail away. Have this new beginning. Strip away everything that's keeping him from his new beginning. The Seven of Wands. Like, he's really got his guard up right now against the people around him. Situations around him. There are people around him not for his highest good. They're really toxic. There could be drugs involved. There could be I'm getting anybody pulling at the masculine for unsavory reasons. Not good. Let's get another one here. Five of Wands, conflict. So much conflict around him right now. It's not even funny. He's having to defend himself with the Seven of Wands coming out right before the Five of Wands. Look at that energy together. Look at all that defensiveness. He's having to really keep his head above water here and fight off people in his life. People picking at him. And with this Princess of Pentacles here again, probably stripping him of his money too. So, I mean, he's defending his livelihood and his life right here. I'm not trying to say anyone's trying to kill your masculine. What I'm trying to say is they're trotting all over his life, like up in his grill, in crashing his boundaries. I mean, he's really defending himself in a lot of ways. There's a lot going on for this masculine. This is a lot of motion energy. This is not stillness. This is like the last option. Masculine had gone into hermit mode to reflect and try and figure out how to get out of his situation. In this one, he has no time to go into hermit mode. He's so on the defensive against whoever is causing these issues. One more. Four of Cups. Extreme disappointment about what's going on. He was so ready to come forward and speak, and just is so disappointed. The divine has this cup up here still for him. It's all is not lost, right? There's one cup spilt over, two empty here, just like hanging out, just like defeated feeling, but it's not going to last long. The divine has that Ace of Cups ready for him. It's coming. He's just going to have to worry. Yeah, he will have to worry for a while, but he's going to have to work through this karmic cycle. He's not done with it. I think he thought he was done with it, and he thought he was going to be able to just leave. And this toxic energy that he's built up in his life, in his relationships, is harder to dispel than he thought it was going to be. But he will. He will. Oh, I'm getting one more. One more. Ace of Pentacles. Look, that's why one more. This solid offer, this solid new beginning, stable new beginning, with the Ace of Cups here and the Four of Cups, that Ace of Cups up in the tree that he can't see yet. This is still here. Like, it hasn't gone away. It just got delayed. He's just got to finish up this karmic cycle. It wasn't quite where he thought it was. But with the, with this Ace of Wands, with the sun being so huge in this card, this is kind of in the middle, and the divine watching him strip away what isn't needed for this new, passionate new beginning, it's happening. He's going to strip away the things from his life that are hindering him, put his feminine in the boat, and move away. At least try to. This is where he's going. This is where he's headed. With this Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. Okay? These wouldn't have come up if that wasn't the case. Just some more time is needed for him to deal with his karma and to have this rebirth for a fresh new start, a fresh new life. Okay, number 3, if you chose the Selenite heart, this has been your reading. I hope it has helped you. If you could take that moment to hit the thumbs up on the video, I am incredibly grateful every time you do that. It helps me get more messages out, and it helps me grow my channel. It's a brand new one. It's only been out for a couple months, and I really want to be able to help people. That's what I'm here for. Okay, thank you for letting me be part of your journey. I appreciate that, and I'll see you next time. Let's get into option 4. All right. So those of you who chose option 4, which is the green kyanite, isn't that beautiful? I'm going to go ahead and start your reading. Let me grab some water here real quick. Getting right through all of these in a row. Okay, we're asking Spirit, what are the karmic blocks and situations in the Divine Masculines right now? What blocks is he working through? What karmic situations? What is going to be for the highest good of the Watcher to know about that? 1, 2, 3. Two of Swords. He's feeling a little blind here right now. He's feeling like he doesn't know which way to go. Something came up for him that is a stumbling block that's making him feel like he doesn't know the best course. It's not about choosing a person. It's not about choosing you, Divine Feminine. It's choosing the course with which to get to you. There's something keeping him blinded to that. 5 of Pentacles. I think he may still be wrapping up some karma having to do with having left you out in the cold. So I think this is a Divine Masculine that may have thought that they could circumvent that piece of their karma. Because they did, they left you high and dry, right? And they still have to deal with this action that they took. It's almost like I'm getting the feeling that there's a Divine Masculine or collective Divine Masculines here that don't want to admit fault in this. They don't want to admit that they were wrong for treating you the way that they did. It's like almost like I'm getting a masculine that wants to just come forward and say, let's just forget the past and start fresh without addressing the pain of the past. You can absolutely leave the past in the past and start fresh, but you must deal with your actions. You can't avoid your karma, and part of your karma is going to the person that you hurt and apologizing and saying, look, I was wrong. And I'm getting that there's a masculine or set of masculines here that kind of wants to skip that because it feels painful. They're ashamed, they're embarrassed, and they don't actually want to admit that they had some fault here. Okay. Getting these 2. The Star and the 10 of Wands. Okay. They're still under the impression that their wish fulfillment has to be a heavy burden, like it has to be a lot of work to get there. It has been a lot of work to this point, but they're not dropping the wands. They're not yet dropping the burdens of saying, okay, I'm done carrying that. I don't need to carry it anymore. I think it has something to do with this 5 of Pentacles we just spoke about. In their heart, they know they've done wrong, right? In their heart, they know that there's a piece of the journey that they need to still come to Feminine and have a conversation about what went wrong the first time, why separation happened. In their heart, they know that, but their ego is not letting them address that. They're wanting to move forward. They're wanting to skip some steps here. And until they stop, they get out of that energy of skipping those steps, they're not going to be able to drop this burden and get their wish fulfillment. It just can't happen. There's an order to things. And they want to go out of order, is what I'm getting. Ace of Pentacles, you can't have that solid, stable offer until this is all hinging on this 5 of Pentacles. So that you can't, this 2 of Swords, you want to take the easier path. You want to take the shorter path around owning what you need to own in the connection. And you can't do that. You can't skip it. You can't have the solid new beginning. You can't make this offer. It's going to be rejected. And I think they know that. And so it still feels so burdensome because they can't figure out how they can do this and skip that step. Such a burden. Queen of Pentacles. Look, they know that you are in this energy. You're solid, you're stable, you're loving, you're giving, you're balanced. And that's part of what's blocking them, is that you're in enough self-love right now that you are not going to accept them back until you have that conversation, until they own their part of the story. You're willing to own your part with the Queen of Pentacles. If there are things that you did, and I'm sure that there are, we all do things that we're not proud of. You're willing to own yours. You're willing to talk about them and then set that free, release it. But you need to be him. You need your DM to be in that energy as well. And it's not happening yet. Knight of Wands, all passion, not enough stability here yet. Needs to get out of this Knight of Wands energy. This is the player energy. And I'm not saying that they have other people around them right now, or they're, you know, out there with a lot of people. What I'm saying is that they need to come into their heart space more and get out of this immature passion energy. This person wants to come forward passionately and skip that step. Okay. Let's see. 5 of Swords, that winning at all costs. But you can't win this one, masculine, until you own your things. Like, you're just going to leave your feminine hurt again if this is what you try and do. You try and come forward with this sword of truth, carrying all these other swords. This reminds me of the 7 of Swords, this posture, right? It's a sneaky energy. This trying to win at all costs. It's a sneaky energy. You can't be in that energy. It's not going to work. Page of Swords. Immature communication. This is all this reading is about so far. Is all about this avoidance of the topic of responsibility, taking responsibility for your actions. I don't think the feminine here is in any energy that is going to be overly harsh for truth-telling. I really don't. But I still feel like this person has not learned that lesson yet. That is a lesson still to be learned, to own your truth. 9 of Pentacles. Look at the Divine Feminine. Look at her here. Abundant. She's in so much self-love that she's independent. She doesn't actually need the masculine anymore. At first she did. She felt like she needed him to be complete, but she doesn't feel that way anymore. She wants him, maybe, in a good energy. But if he comes forward in that energy, in that sneaky, you know, not taking responsibility for my actions energy, she doesn't need him, and he knows it. And that's why the 2 of Swords here, again, he can't figure out the path forward. He's blind to how can he come forward when she's in this energy, because she's just going to reject him. Oh, 2. 6 of Pentacles and the King of Wands. So he needs to learn balance. He hasn't come to this balance within himself yet. When he does come to this balance, and that's just a lesson to be learned, if he does come to this balance, then that solid, stable offer is a possibility. That wish fulfillment, it's coming right under wish fulfillment. He needs to find this balance within himself in order to have that wish fulfillment. And, you know, the King of Wands energy, he needs to get out of that Knight of Wands energy that we just saw, that immature player kind of passion energy, and learn to control his passion and come forward when he's balanced as all the kings, when he's balanced in his heart space, his head space, his passion, all his pentacles, all of it. So he needs to slow his roll, is what I'm getting with that Knight of Wands, and mature up to the King of Wands energy. The 2 of Cups. This choice in love. He knows who his counterpart is, but he's not making the right choices yet. He's got to come to that. He's not making the right choice yet. And that's right under it. It's coming in right under the 5 of Pentacles. This not owning up to it energy, coming right together. Last card, 7 of Swords in reverse. He's got to come out of that sneaky energy. This whole read was about this one thing. This is really important for this masculine. He can't come in sneaky. He can't come in with so much passion that the divine feminine ignores his lack of owning up. It's just not going to happen. Okay. If you chose the green kyanite, number 4, this has been your reading. I hope it's been helpful for you to understand kind of what's going on with the divine masculine in this collective. They really have to own their stuff. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all have to own our stuff. We've all done stuff. This is not a bash the masculine reading. This is showing us just what he's still got to do, and this is the piece that's really sticking for him right now. Thank you so much. If you would mind hitting that thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it, I really appreciate that. Every single one of those is so helpful for me. If you hit that subscribe and all, you'll get notifications of all the readings coming up. And thank you so much for letting me be here with you today. I'll see you next time. Love you all. All right, let's go and get into number 5, last one. Ignore the alarm on my phone there. And turn that off. Okay. So for those of you who chose number 5, the rose quartz, this is your reading. Let's go ahead and get into that. Set those over there. Okay, we're asking Spirit, what blocks and karmic situations is divine masculine dealing with right now? What blocks and karmic situations? Okay, 1, oops. It's supposed to be down there. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Whoops, King of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to shuffle one more time. I'm not feeling good about that. Oh, okay. Tower moment for the King of Pentacles. Let's just talk about that. King of Pentacles flipped up, and then the Tower flipped up. There was an unexpected Tower here. I've gotten this in 2 other piles. The first 2 piles had this. There is definitely some unexpected stuff coming up for the masculines. Like shaking them from their King of Pentacles energy. I'm going to go ahead and put that back in and reshuffle. That little side note just to keep in mind. We'll see more about that here shortly. 1, 2, 3. Okay. What karmic situations are going on for the divine masculine? Knight of Wands. He's got to learn to control his passion. He's coming with too much uncontrolled passion. I mean, passion is an awesome thing. We want that in our lives. We want that with our partners. We want that in our work. We want that in just our daily life, right? But you have to learn to control it. You can't be in this immature, in and out, passionate energy. You can't lead with it. You have to lead with your heart space. So this masculine is still dealing with that part of the journey. 2 of Cups. Like this choice in love, he hasn't made it yet. This masculine, if you chose the rose quartz, is still in the part of the journey where he's making this choice towards the divine feminine. The final decision isn't made yet. This is a masculine or collective of masculines that isn't really all the way toward union yet. This is more mid-journey, mid to late. 3 of Pentacles. He's still building his foundation. Like he needs to build up a foundation. He feels inferior in his ability to provide, financial ability. The way he deals with his finances. If you see this guy with his hammer in his hand and he's below these other 2 really well-dressed people, he's feeling inferior in monetarily in what he can provide and what he has physically. And he really needs to, he feels like he still needs to work on this, but what I'm really getting from this card is that need to release money as a benchmark for self-worth. Okay, so this masculine is still releasing that. He's still got to work on releasing, having his self-worth tied up in how other people see him financially. Eight of Pentacles. He's still working on his money again. So we get that twice in a row. These two cards both are about building it up, building your foundation. He just feels like he doesn't have enough, and that is worrisome, because that is something that masculines often have to come to. It's a healing process to understand that their self-worth isn't tied to their money, because societally we teach that. We teach men that, or masculines that. And if your masculine happens to be male, it's a societally programmed thought that our self-worth is tied to our money. So I'm really getting that strongly. And Ten of Pentacles. Look, he wants to get to this place. We've got the 3, the 8, and the 10. That's a progression. Money is a big factor for this masculine. He feels like he has to have all 10 pentacles in order to have the happy family. He feels like his feminine is not going to accept him until he can really provide fully and have this castle and these beautiful grounds and, dress everyone beautifully and all that kind of stuff. That needs to be released. Okay. Page of Swords. And, this masculine still needs to learn to communicate in a mature manner. They still, their throat chakra is blocked. They're still not able to come forward and communicate what's in their mind and heart in a really mature manner. This still has to develop for this masculine. King of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacles energy. He feels like he needs to be this King of Pentacles. This is what is the ultimate for this guy. This King of Pentacles. And that is a really good energy. You want to be in this energy. But he needs to be in this energy because he feels stable and strong and steady within himself, not just built upon a bridge of money. Okay, what's next? These two. So the Star of the Wish Fulfillment. Like, he's got this in his head. He knows what his wish fulfillment is. I think his wish fulfillment is the feminine. But he's so worried over getting it because of this money situation. Because of this lack of tangible assets. And that the Nine of Swords coming right over the Two of Cups. It's like so much worry over, I think, over the feminine choosing him, not over him choosing the feminine. The choice in love, I don't think it's him that has not made the choice in love. I think it's the feminine. And I feel like he's so in his head about the money. That it affects her. Not the lack of money, but him being so in his head about it. Okay, let's see. He's still confused. There's so many options. I feel like this masculine, in his pursuit of pentacles, in his pursuit of tangible success, financial success, it's almost like someone that goes for get-rich-quick schemes or investing in stuff that he can't afford to invest in, stuff like that. All of these options, because it's coming in right below the Three of Pentacles. So I'm getting, he's trying to build this foundation in too many different ways instead of like settling on one and really throwing his concentration into one. And when you have your concentration thrown into so many places, you don't have time to develop your heart space or your head space, or to mature that passionate energy. That's a problem here. Queen of Wands. Look, his feminine is the Queen of Wands. She has learned to control her passionate energy, but he's just the Knight. So he has to mature up to her level. He knows he's not on her level this way yet. Ten of Cups. I think that this Ten of Cups, again, we had the Ten of Pentacles. He's really got this goal in mind, this happiness. Like the Ten of Cups is coming in right below the Ten of Pentacles. Both tens. He has his eye on the prize. He's working. He's just not working efficiently, and he needs to learn some lessons about self-worth. But he wants this. I mean, he really wants this, and I think he wants it with his feminine. He wants her to make that choice and love towards him. He's so worried about it. But he's got to get under control of his self-worth. He needs to do some healing on some past wounding that has affected his self-worth, what has made him feel like. What he can provide materially is what his worth is tied to. Temperance. With the Seven of Cups that we just had, Temperance, learning to temper his passions. Again, with the Knight of Wands, learning to temper his passions. Learning to rein it in and focus. This masculine may even have ADD, ADHD, I'm getting for some people, and have a hard time focusing on one thing. Learning to temper the passions into focusing in different areas is going to be really, really helpful. And with the angel here, I get divine guidance, like he's being helped along. His spirit team around him is helping him along that way. He's on the road to it, okay? This is not a hopeless situation. He's on the road to learning that. And, you know, when you have a situation like that, especially if you're ADHD, it's challenging. It's more challenging than it is for the rest of us. But again, Ten of Cups, Ten of Pentacles, eye on the prize. Really working at it. Wanting to be this King of Pentacles. Okay, one more. The Empress. He knows his feminine is the Empress. And he's feeling like he's got to be the King of Pentacles in order to get the Empress. In order for her to make that move to him. But he's not understanding yet that it's the Emperor who is the divine counterpart for the Empress, not the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is stable and reliable, but he also has to master his heart space and his passion and his head space in order to be the Empress's match. Okay, those of you who chose option 5, this has been your reading. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope it resonated. If it didn't resonate, feel free to go and check out some of the other options. Please take that moment to hit the thumbs up on the video if you're enjoying these. I really, really appreciate that. It's really valuable to me. It gets these videos out to more people that need them, and I am really trying to grow this channel. I'm here to help. That's what I want to do. Thank you for letting me be part of your journey, and I will see you next time. Love you guys.